We have discussed on our first video that equilibrium is one of our gauge for us to consider that a structure is safe or stable. Pero ang stability sa structure, kung mayroon kag equilibrium, it is a generic term. Mura siya og kanang panglahatan nga term. So pero napagyoy more specific terms or more specific nga gauge para mabal-an nato kung ang structure is stable or not. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about determinacy of beams and trusses as well as for frames. So we will discuss about static determinacy, indeterminacy, and instability. Okay, so first let us define what is an internally stable structure. Internally stable, a structure is said to be internally stable if it structure is considered internally stable or rigid if it maintains its shape and remains in rigid body when detached from the support. So regardless if nasa sa support or wala, once nga ma-detach nimo siya, unya na-maintain niya yung shape and na-maintain niya yung rigidity, remains in rigid body, diya di mo ma-consider ang internally stable nga structure. Unya mingon po ka og rigid structure. A structure is rigid if it offers significant resistance to its change of shape. Okay? So significant resistance to its change of shape. So dili gid siya mo change ang shape sa structure. Whether isa siya ka structure or a system of structure, kung walay changes sa iyang shape, they are considered as rigid. Okay. So another term is internally unstable. How can we determine that a structure is internally unstable? Internally unstable, a structure is considered internally unstable or non-rigid if it cannot maintain its shape and may undergo large displacements under small disturbances when not supported externally. Okay? So, internally unstable kuno siya kung once na i-remove nimo siya sa support, dako og displacement, dako og change sa iyang shape, dili niya ma-maintain ang iyang daan nga shape. So that is internally unstable. Napotay gitawag og non-rigid structure. So a non-rigid structure is a structure that offers negligible resistance to its change of shape when detached from the support and would often collapse under its own weight when not supported externally. Okay? So, si non-rigid structure o si internally unstable structure are almost similar nga terms or similar lang sila og meaning or description. Once kuno nga tanggalon nimo sila sa iyang support, mo collapse siya. Even sa iyang own weight lang jud, di niya kaya masustain. So ang atong ginalikayan nga makakonstrukta nga kita mga engineers, makakonstrukta og non-rigid or internally unstable structures. Mo na tong mga likayan. So natay mga pamaagi to determine kung stable ba siya or unstable. So direta sa statically determinate structures. So an internally stable structure can be considered to be statically determinate. So nakay duha ka type sa determinacy, no? Kung stable na siya, kagay na unstable. So once nga stable na, ang stability na duha ka types, na kay determinate and indeterminate. Okay? So unsa nang determinate? An internally stable structure can be considered to be statically determinate externally if all its support reactions can be determined by solving the three static equations of equilibrium. Okay, so kung makuha nimo siya three static equations, summation forces vertical, summation forces horizontal, and summation moment equal to 0. So mo na siya for beams, pero for trusses and for frames, lahi na siya nga formula, or lahi na nga static equations, lahi na. Okay, so let's move to the statically indeterminate structure. So statically indeterminate structure, still imong structure is internally stable, rigid, pero sa kalahian nila sa determinate. So if a structure is supported by more than 3 reactions, then all reactions cannot be determined from the 3 static equations. Such structure are termed as statically indeterminate externally. So kana siya nga mga structure nanubra ang iyang supports or nanubra ang mga reactions, nanubra, no, more than 3 reactions. So kung manubra, dili na nimo siya dali-dali og compute og summation forces vertical, horizontal og moment, dili na nga naka-easy. So si structural analysis na ay pamaagi sa pag-compute both statically determinate o statically indeterminate. Okay, so karon akong i-show sa inyo ang formulas nga mas easier sa ato to determine through these formulas. Mas easier sa ato nga masabtan kung unsa na to pag-determine sa structure, if unstable ba siya nya, kung stable siya unsa man siya, statically determinate or statically indeterminate. Kung statically indeterminate, ato pong hibalon ang iyahang degree of determinacy. Okay, let's proceed.